Well, we got Jan back out, guys.
Hey, Jan.
Hey. Hey, guys.
Welcome back.
Thanks for having me back.
We welcomed ground-penetrating radar expert Jan Franke back to help us with another one of our current investigations. Between the area known as the Triangle and the Mesa, where we've detected a possible underground structure.
We had a team come out and do a balloon-based deep penetrating radar survey.
Okay.
We also have some magnetometer data from a few years ago that shows magnetic anomalies,
Okay.
which suggest that we're looking at something metallic, possibly even a tunnel of some kind.
Okay.
Over the past 3 years, we've conducted a magnetometry scan as well as an aerial radar scan in this area. And both of them identified a possible metal tunnel running underground between the Triangle and the Mesa. So today, Jan is going to use a special ground-penetrating radar device to get us more data and help us figure out if that could really be true.
Our ambition is to do a survey in this area of the Triangle.
Absolutely, we can do that, yes. Well, guys, so this time I brought a much deeper penetrating system. I've improved it over the last year. That'll give us much higher resolution.
Perfect.
Jan is going to scan back and forth across the area in what's called a push broom pattern. As he does this, the GPR will send radio signals into the ground that bounce off of objects or structures. If any are detected, the device will produce an image on what is known as a radargram. Now, while Jan's GPR is mainly designed to send radio signals into the ground, some of them will actually go up, meaning that he could also detect things above him. That would be a good thing for us, because we've documented a lot of anomalies above the Triangle. So if anything passes over him, we might be able to image that as well.
Okay, got it? All right, let's start assembling it.
While Jan and Caleb were running the GPR scan at the Triangle,
And off we go.
me, Thomas, and Dragon went about a half-mile over to the East Field to conduct a different experiment to follow up on something strange that happened 2 weeks ago.
Let's put the launch pad right here.
We were conducting a drone-based infrared LiDAR scan when Jim Royston suddenly began losing GPS data at very specific spots above the East Field.
Uh-oh. What happened, Eric?
Something that we couldn't explain was blocking the GPS signal.
Let's go launch this thing.
Okay.
So we've decided to launch rockets equipped with GPS devices up into those same dead spots to see if we could get repeated data or even stimulate some kind of phenomenon that might help us figure out what's going on in that area.
Eric, the rocket's armed and we're ready to launch.
Copy you, standing by for launch.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, launched, right?
Yeah.
So something's going on with the signal there.
Yes.
Very interesting. We get this weird bump above the ground. I can't explain that.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Hey, Eric and Travis, if you guys can hear me.
As Jan and I were dragging his GPR through the Triangle, Jan said about 5 to 10 seconds after that rocket launch that he was getting something interesting above us.
Did you hear what he said? That radar picked up something in the air when we launched the rocket. At the Triangle.
I'm wondering if we did have some kind of
Interaction, or we did get some kind of reading of something moving above us.
So that's really interesting. I can't wait to see that data.
We couldn't believe it when Jan detected something in the air with his GPR device above the Triangle after our first rocket launch. He was trying to find an underground tunnel, but clearly some of the radio signals bounced off of something over his head.
We're ready to launch the next.
Rocket with a GPS tracker on it. Are you ready?
Standing by for launch.
We had no idea what it could have been, so we wanted to launch another rocket as fast as we could to see if it would happen again.
Hey, Caleb, be advised that we are going to launch the rocket in less than 30 seconds. Be prepared.
If we're going to launch another rocket, we should stand still and we watch for it and see if we see anything above us.
Okay.
Okay, battery's gonna go hot right now. Preparing to launch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What in the hell is going on? This makes no sense at all. That is not what that rocket did. I want an explanation for this. During the rocket launch, the rocket didn't go straight into the mesa, but what it appeared to do was to corkscrew on its way up. The altitude that it is reported to have reached is nowhere near where the rocket actually went. How is that even possible? Caleb, you copy?
Yeah, go ahead, Eric.
Are you still seeing any of that artifact at 30 to 40 feet?
Roger that, I am. Yes, it is definitely there, and it occurred maybe 4 or 5 seconds after the launch.
Wow.
We saw the exact same effect. 5 or 6 seconds after that rocket launched, we see movement at a range of about 40 feet. I can't explain that at all. I need to process that data, but that's something of real interest.
Hey guys,
Come on in.
Before we jump into Jan's data, I want to look at some rocket launch data with you guys. I want to show you the GPS data for that first flight.
I'm excited to see what you got.
The next morning, we couldn't wait to see if Jan was able to find evidence of a tunnel underground in the Triangle area. But first, we really wanted to review the GPS data from our Eastfield rocket launch when Jan's GPR device simultaneously detected something above ground at the Triangle.
Okay, so you tell me, what's wrong with this picture?
the rocket went straight up to 2,000 feet.
And you see these points over here? They're inside the mesa. Now,
they are. Look at that.
look exactly where they went in.
Wow.
That's right where we saw the UAP last year go into the mesa.
That's a good point. The entry point right there. Crazy, man.
The GPS data shows this rocket flew straight at the mesa and directly into a spot that we call the endpoint. Now that's where we've seen a UAP enter the Eastfield Mesa and then exited a half a mile away before disappearing into thin air near the Triangle. We don't know what's causing the GPS errors, but it is obvious that something has prevented us from getting accurate data on Skinwalker Ranch.
And at the exact same time, Jan was picking up those radar anomalies.
That's right. Jan had the GPR set up when we did this launch, and he picked up something in the sky that seemed to be 40 feet above him over the Triangle.
Yes, exactly. We can actually see that on this data set.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Okay? So the radar is continuously running. It's taking readings 10 times a second. Now, what is the radar really detecting? It's detecting changes. And we're in an open field, and there's no cows or anything else moving. So if we just stand still and nobody moves, then there shouldn't be any changes at all. So what I want you to do is take a look at the bottom of the screen, okay? So here's what's interesting. The launch happened, I happen to get the timestamp off of it, right here, okay? About 6 seconds later, 5 seconds later, we have this blip. It's probably sitting around 40 feet
Above the ground.
and that's a very, very strong blip. Okay, now, what does that mean? Okay, something changed and created an interference.
So we launched a rocket a mile away from you, and you detected some sort of anomaly.
Yeah.
Happened about 40 feet above you.
Yeah, well, I assure you there was nothing above us, but
Okay.
nothing that we could see.
Nothing that you could see. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
right.
That's the point.
And I saw that, and I was like, what just caused that?
It happened twice, if I remember
So-
correctly.
That's right. So here's the interesting part. Repeatability, right? That's how
Yeah.
science works.
Yeah.
Check this out. So we'll go along in time, and it happened again. Right
Wow,
there.
look at that.
This happened after your second launch.
So that means somehow or other, launching a rocket in the East Canyon field down there, somehow at the triangle, we detect an electromagnetic disturbance that...
Well, no, we detect an object
We detect an object
that appears and disappears.
that appears and disappears for just a few seconds. What on earth is that?